What up, though? Vegas on the check-in. Do our roll call. Bass Love, what up, though? Houston already. How you feel about Kanye? 50 talked about the G-Unit chain on the Flores Twins podcast. You peeped that. Yeah, I peeped that. Brooklyn rockin' with you know. BK all day. Flatbush, Brownsville, East New York. Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, Coney Island, Columbus, Ohio, the DMV. I'm waiting on Zino to get in. Because, you know, for me, there you go. It was Easter. For me, he created, and gave us the idea and the inkling of social media. The king of the king of hip hop media, man.
What's up, my brother?
The king of hip hop media, man.
You looking good out there, JoJo.
I got to, Z. Come on, Z.
I need one of them hats ASAP.
Oh, it's the whole hookup. Black Heroes Forever, man.
That shit hard, bro.
Yeah, Black Heroes Forever.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. We did Black
Need
Heroes.
one of those.
Yeah.
That shit hard, bro.
What's the word?
Man, so we gonna get right to it. It's crazy because me and my girl been sitting here and it's okay. I'm gonna give my take on this whole Jewish thing 1st.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then maybe you can help me with it, or somebody out there that's listening, because all right, Jewish people in the world are best known as like they was the first slaves, or the first kind of like, as far as the culture of people that were slaves back in Jesus times, right? Back in the day, in the Roman times, they were the slaves. Yes.
But do you know who the original Jew?
The real Jews, right. And I do understand how Jewish, like the Jew. I know what ish means, but I'm just saying. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people kind of get confused with white people and Jewish people, meaning like they put all white people and Jewish people in the same category. Like people like so. With the now, and we do know that Jewish people, as far as industry wise, like pretty much got into the movie entertainment industry, the music industry. Now, where I'm saying, just as a people, I think the Jewish people in America were the low man on the totem pole, just as black people. Now, can we agree on that? As far as America, because that, they were living in the ghettos. They were, you know what I'm saying? And what Jewish people, I think Jewish, from my understanding, because, Dave Mays was my partner, so I got to know a little bit. And Dave's Jewish, but Dave is a different type of Jewish. He's a Akanashki. I don't know that it's a different type of term for Jewish, but he's a European Jew. They basically pulled their money together, and that, let's say that Jewish people are a tribe of people, and they basically, their laws were to support one another and to spend with each other, to uplift each other. And the industry that they got in was the movie industry, the music industry, and that's who we deal with when we're in the industry. I think what Kanye did was, when he remember when he said white people matter. Remember when he said that?
Mm-hmm.
Then when he's talking about Jewish people, and I think a lot of us in the industry kind of do the same thing because of just what I said. We know that they run the industry. So I think his relationships with Jewish people probably got off. I mean, whatever happened with him and the people that he spoke on who were Jewish, probably as a lot of people that were in the movie or in the music industry, he's just saying his he's just saying what he went through with a few of the Jewish people. Now, I think me personally, you know, that's like when somebody deals with a black person and then they think that that's what all black people do. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we got to be careful with that. And by no means, and because my thing is, I wish, black people could do what the Jews are doing. Can can stop killing each other. We got to start there. Even just spending with one another is kind of eons off. We just got to stop killing each other first before we can even think about reaching goals to where Jewish people as a whole can reach. Because again, it's not like anything was handed to them. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, sure, there's a few families in this world, the Rothschilds, the Morgans, there's a few families that have major power or whatever. I'm just saying, we have to be careful because we don't want to be, right now, black people been the low man on the totem pole, the low culture on the totem pole in America. Can't say necessarily that for the world, but we're going to talk America. So when Kanye's talking, it's his experiences with certain Jews as far as the entertainment industry and what he went through. Now, Kanye is probably at a financial point where he could say that because as well as I, he's going to get cut off from a lot of situations that the Jews are handling. Like they're not going to fuck with him because they're looking at him as being racist against their people. We would do the same thing. If JoJo, if you was white and you said something about, man, I can't stand motherfucking, you know what I mean, man, all black people, it would be the same thing. So I can understand it's so much confusion surrounded by who are Jewish, who are white people. All I'm saying is that let's worry about us as a people. If we can stop killing each other, stop dogging each other out, stop hating each other, then maybe we can get into a conversation about what Jewish people have done for themselves. Because to me, in my eyes, and just from my knowledge, and Lord knows I'm not so intelligent on the subject, but I do know as a people, they fuck with themselves. They deal with themselves. It's very and as far as the industry, music and movie, shit, if they're the ones that are running it, well, we can't say nothing until we run it. In order us to run anything, we have to stop killing each other. So, like when people say shit like this, a lot of it's confusion because people don't know necessarily, just like probably I don't know. A lot of just people don't know that just white people and Jewish people are different. People just don't even know. You have Italians, you have Irish. When Jewish people came to America, when all the Holocaust was going on over in Germany, they escaped. They was the low man on the totem pole there, so they had to get businesses together. They had to pool their money together. They don't worry about wearing Louis Vuitton and Louis Vuitton. They don't worry about wearing jewelry. They actually sell us our priorities as a culture are screwed up, and we can't blame the Jews for that. We can't. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's
And
not like
I wanted you to vent and get it off your chest. Now,
okay.
not saying, and my thing was by you being in media, you know what I'm saying? One of the originals, you and Dave coming with the Source magazine, as they say, that's what we was able to voice our opinion, for
Right.
the culture and hip hop and things of that nature. So now that, salute to Puff, he got revoked. His business partners might be European or whatever. And everybody gets sensitive about themselves, but you can be the same people that makes trillions of dollars off our hardship of us using and calling each other degrading names in the N-word. So my whole thing as a whole, with Dr. King, them fighting for equality, this is a point where we see equality is not being equality. You see what I'm saying? It's the rich getting richer and the poor not getting a thing. So if we know that we can contribute to $1 trillion a year, why haven't our prominent people that's billionaires, because we got a few of them, and I'm speaking on the ones here in America, why haven't they, because I personally have some app builders. So if I go to my app builders right now and I say, hey, we want to make our own Twitter, we want to make our own TikTok, we want to make our own Facebook, Snapchat, we want to make apps just like the rest of the apps that's out there. So they say, okay, cool, we can build them, we can do this and that. We need this amount of funding. I should be able to call Rich. Rich should be able to hit Brian. Hey, this is what JoJo trying to do. They need 150 million, right? So LeBron can say, okay, Joe, I'm going to throw you 50. I'm going to hit Jay. Jay can throw you 50. And then you hit Stunner and Slim and get the other 50. It should be that simple, that I believe. You know what I'm saying? That it should be, and there go our own platforms, and we can run them how we want to run them, the same way they run in theirs.
Right. Now, see, that's the important thing you just said. The same way they run in theirs. So, and it's not about fault, but whose fault is that? That's our fault. I mean, you know, let's call a spade, you know, and forget about the terminology. They understood the importance of exactly what you're just saying. And It wasn't that hard. They knew that if they pulled their shit together, they can make amazing things happen. The only way it's going to happen is basically what you said. The black people who got money that are in our, because look, all right, if you run something, if you run a business, you're necessarily, you know, you and your partners, let's say all your partners were black. You know, let's say, you know what I'm saying? And you, and then you made something so great that other races will follow. Well, then, okay, that's just how it is. That's how life is. That's how the world is. But you just said it. It should be that simple, but we don't do it. We're not unified like the Jewish people. We're just not. And when it comes to money, we're really off. I mean, we're way off. So, you know, until we can solve that problem, the Kanye West saying things about Jewish people is just, to me, that's just the obvious thing, to where you can't blame a few of the people that you dealt with on the whole community. Because we know that Jewish people...
Which he didn't. He's calling out his business partners.
Right.
He ain't said no whole community.
Well, he said, well, didn't he say Jews? He said he used the term Jews. See,
I mean, once people start using the terms for themselves, then that's just what you're gonna do.
But it's better just to say your business partners.
Yeah. He can say just
don't bring up like, you know, races. It's better to do it that way, because then you won't be seen as a race. Mm-hmm. And please, I'm reading the comments, so anything that y'all could enlighten me on, you know what I'm saying? Please enlighten me, you know, because like I'm telling the people that's watching, anything that they can enlighten me on history and different things about Jewish that they know, please enlighten me. Because see, I'm all for uplifting our culture and sticking, you know, but until we pull together, until we pull ourselves, forget about even resources, just kindness. That don't cost nothing. Like until we understand the power of not hurting each other in our culture, then that'll speak volumes. Because, you know, if the Jews are the ones that run the entertainment industry in these industries, and now social media, well, okay, you know, just like white people that own supermarkets. I mean, are we not gonna go to the food and buy from the? No, we got to keep doing everything that we can to survive out here. But as far as uplifting our culture and doing stuff for us, which I agree. See, we're the talent, and we contribute a lot. and we're getting, like, I wouldn't say crumbs, but compared to what they're getting. And you know, the way to do it is to go ahead and deal with them people until we make enough to build our own. Now, you just mentioned four men that could 100% change things. And I don't want to put the pressure on them. I don't want to put the pressure on nobody because I don't spend nobody else's money and I don't tell nobody else what to do with their lives or
So
how
so
they view.
so we can scratch them. If they don't personally want to give us the money to start our own apps or build our own apps so we can have our freedom of speech, so we can have our freedom of expression, and we won't get a muzzle put on us, you know what I'm saying? And we tell our truths and help us with our history, meaning just say like they have an app. They can just have just say a Black History app, right? A Black History app.
Mhm.
I feel like we all should be able to, whether you from Asia, if it's 6 continents, I mean, it's 7 continents.
Seven, yeah.
So 7 continents full of people, which is going to be different ethnic groups.
Mhm.
And we should all be able to learn about each ethnic group.
Mhm. Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So of course we'll have a Black History app, and then we'll have a worldly app. Now our worldly app can let us know, because life is about choices. So if we want to choose to click on the worldly app, now the problem is this: you can go get scholars from each continent for each ethnic group, and you can let them present the history of each culture. That way, it's not looking like it's monopolized. See, the
Right.
problem we having is the monopoly. Everything we involved it with is a monopoly.
Right.
So therefore, it's like I watched him doing an interview with Cuomo. He studied cutting the man off on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Cuomo is.
Yeah, you invite him on your show. You want him to speak his mind or say whatever he gonna say. You so busy trying to say this anti-Semitic situation, which it ain't even about that. You see what I'm saying? And then they keep pointing the ball. The White Lives Matter shirt. Okay, cool. Whether they want to believe it or not, if birthplace of civilization was Africa, every person, living human being on this planet is descendants of Africa, right? So if we know this now, scientifically speaking, and all these worldly scholars going and digging up all these bones and all that, and we know, so if we all are descendants from that place, we falling for the banana in the tailpipe with the prejudice, because that's what it is. It's basically like you can't be racist because it's one race, the human race. So if it's one race, the human
Right.
race,
Right.
we all one people. We just different shades, right? We know why the different shades are there. Whether we gonna say the difference of the climates when the Africans uh moved and went to Europe, if we know the knowledge of the Moors, teaching language, teaching mathematics and everything, so all this stuff is public information now. So it ain't just somebody telling us. We actually have scripts. We have books. We have pictures. We have bones. You know what I'm saying? The scientists that's dating back to this now. So why is this stuff not being taught in our schools? You see what I'm saying? Okay, they get involved. It's like we got to start from within. So if we know that, as Brother Tariq them say, foundational Black Americans. So if we know we need to start with us first and help us build from inside out, that's what we need to do. So every major person, big name, billionaire, millionaire that we know, they all know what we suffer from because they came from it.
Right.
Maybe not all, but majority of them did.
I
So
agree.
if we got the Byron Allen, and we have these venture capitalists, and we have what's the brother Bob Johnson? You know what I'm saying? So let's just look at it like this. Bob Johnson created BET, Black Entertainment Television. Then he sold it
to white people.
You see what I'm saying? So now it's a name game, mind game now. You see what I'm saying? So now it's like he should have been able to sell the company or pass the company down to Puff Daddy, to Jay-Z, to Birdman. And
That's what the Jews would have did.
Exactly. And I'm
you
just
see what
saying,
I'm saying?
So the
That's what the Jews would have did.
So the conversation needs to be had, but when a person trying to speak on it that has a big following, they putting the muzzle. They trying to put.
Well, see. I don't think. I think Kanye's message might have been pure. I just think his wording got screwed up. You know, I just think the wording.
Listen. Come on, man. Wording screwed up, messed up. Nobody perfect.
No, it's not about perfect. But look, Joe, you gotta realize when you're that influential, your words got to be on point, man.
This is what I didn't want to happen. I want us to be able to have a genuine conversation. I listen to you, you listen to me. That's what I want this to be. Right? We and them is getting filthy rich off us rapping, calling our women out of their names, calling each other the N-word. That word is being used on every social media, on every YouTube. It's used everywhere, right? Now they got all these guidelines for any and everything. It's not no guidelines for that though. They not shutting no page down for the N-word being used. You ain't seeing that. They not taking down when one of us getting shot down in the middle of the street, broad daylight or whatever, brain speaking all on the sidewalk.
But they own it.
This is what I'm saying. So it's being presented. So when they say my gripes with Vlad, my gripes with Adam 22, all they post is the most gruesome stuff that goes on with us.
Of our culture, yes.
So it's like if I'm the only person out of our 1%, 7%, whatever they want to say we are here in America, am I the only one that's noticing this? You see what I'm saying? But it's like, oh, people gonna say, oh, well, they ain't gonna say nothing to Vlad. Vlad, he got a platform, so they want to be on his platform. But I'm saying, if you can go to Breakfast Club, if you can go to Flip the Script, if you can go to At the Point Drink Champs, or whoever other platforms that's out there, it can add up to the subscribers he have. These people so blinded by the fact they don't even know if his followers if his subscribers is real.
Real or not, right.
So it's like somebody got to mention this stuff. Everything you see, everything is glitter ain't gold. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we have, and then it's like when we do. So if someone to say, okay, it's like somebody asking me, why do I care so much about the hood when I don't have to live in the hood no more? That's what this is equivalent to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some people will say, well, why do we even care? Like you have people say, oh, we Native Indians, we are Aborigines, and we ain't no Hebrews, and we the natives of it. It's so much confusion, bro.
It's a lot of confusion.
It's so much confusion. So when I've been doing interviews with Professor Kaba Kamene, and I've been doing interviews with Dr. James Smalls and Sinetta TV, my elders. You see what I'm saying?
Very intelligent man.
That's been traveling the world for 60-some years, getting these artifacts to show us our truths and who we are. Why they don't have a platform on Revolt? You see
okay, but look at this though. Look at this. If we was unified enough, none of us would even go on Vlad shit. None of us would even go on Vlad TV. If again, to be unified and to love costs nothing. It don't cost nothing. It's just an awareness that, hey, we're always going to get the crumbs if we don't unify. Because, you know, all this right here is still, it's a smoke screen for the real point. Because everything you're saying is right. There's nothing wrong in what you're saying, but we can but until it changes, until which I don't know when that's going to happen. We have to be more calculated when we do things. Now, again, you know, it's crazy because everybody knows when you say something about Jewish people or gay people, all hell breaks loose. You know what I'm saying? You get the cancel culture comes. It's
And,
crazy.
and, and not to cut you off, like now, I didn't even want to mention none of that. I didn't want to say no. I just wanted to say people or the powers that be. We all know who that is.
The
So,
Jewish people.
but I'm saying, if we saying this and that, and if we supposed to be, so it's like, where's Captain Tazariak and them at? You see what I'm saying? When you need them, you feel me? So to the brothers that's on 125th in Harlem and they breaking out the Bible and saying we the original people and giving the scriptures the way it is, I think once people start waking up, they came with a new version. Now they got the King James version. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, hold on, they got woke. We woke them up. So now that they didn't decipher these scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Oh, so we heard J. Edgar Hoover say it. What would be the threat to the America, and it was for us to
unify. Yeah,
This is
I remember that.
This is public record.
I remember that.
So basically, the bank say, "Oh, we taking our money. We don't want to do business with him." You got $9 billion, Jay, and still some coming. So I think, if I ain't mistaken, it's two. It might be more, but it's two Black-owned banks, 100% Black-owned banks that I know of. And if I ain't mistaken, I know for sure one of them here in Chicago. So we need to highlight that. We need to call, hey, it's a Black-owned bank right here, bro. Put that $9 billion in there and let these people go to work. Let them do what they need to do. You see what I'm saying? Because eventually, we know we had Black Wall Street. We seen what happened. They bombed it.
Right.
So I use the government as a thought process of the great-grandparents is the government. The governor is the children of our great-grandparents. Then the mayor would be our parents, right?
Right.
So when we have a disagreement with our parents, we go to our grandparents. And then our grandparents tell us how their parents taught them.
Right.
So every time we have an uproar, let's find a way to confuse them again. So now they came with the pacify the people pockets, is what I'm gonna call it, the PPP.
Right.
So
I didn't hear that one. All I heard was parole, pardons, and parole, pardons. There was one more. I forgot.
And penitentiary.
Penitentiary.
Right. So it clicked with you and me. I wouldn't dare. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't dare. You know what I'm saying? So we put it like this. A lot of us been living without for so long, to where's that when the statement that everything that sound good is not good. It's reasons for these slogans. It's reason for these statements. So it's like, okay, now I brought to the attention when people say, okay, well, y'all prejudice this and that, or which is not true. A lot of people lived amongst Europeans in America since the beginning. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
Okay, now when we go deeper than that, of course, we do our Ancestry.com, the blood mixtures and all this.
Right.
Everybody got some European,
right.
but it's 1%,
right.
It's 1%, 2%, and 3%. You feel me? Right. So now, here we are in America speaking a colonizer's language. And nobody said
that was the plan, Joe.
But I'm saying
the religion, the language, the economics, that was the plan.
So listen, we have all these living legends and artifacts that's left behind from Dr. John Henry Clark and the rest of them. From what's the brother in Jamaica? Marcus Garvey.
Marcus
You know what I'm
Garvey,
saying?
yeah, up in
And the
Harlem, yeah.
Garvey Knights on down, you know what I'm saying, even to the Black Panther Party. We seen what happened. And when we was able to hear J. Edgar Hoover say this and watch him dismantle our groups of people that was trying to unite and bring us together and unify us, like right now, it's still happening again. You know what I'm saying? To whereas that soon as he speak, see, because basically like this, like just say Ye can be in rooms that the average person not gonna be in.
Right.
So we do know that it's gonna be a token N-word is what they look at us as, that they're willing to deal with.
Right.
So a brother was saying something earlier about Ye and his antics, and he harmful to us as a group of people. And I'm saying the pink polo backpacker kid that was running around out here in Hyde Park and in the, as we say, nerd crew and nerd camp, you telling me he harmful to us? So
Right.
which one is it gonna be? Because
Right.
we ain't never looked at no nerds as being harmful in no way.
No, not to us.
So I had to respond to him because I'm saying to myself, bro, is you serious saying he's harmful to us? In what way? Because he's speaking his mind? So it's just like when a person say play the game, right? So it's like, okay, I gotta kiss their butt until I get this 5 million check. And once I get the check, once the check clear, I'm gonna go radical and just say everything. I'm gonna speak about all of what they made me go through, all of the red tape they made me deal with before they finally gave me the money. And then they told me what I can and cannot say. Now, what is that about? If we got so what the Constitution here for then? Why is it still in existence?
Right.
Like, why is the Constitution still in existence if we can't speak on nothing?
That's just a paper with words, man.
So, you know, so then everything they do is racist. Everything racist, everything prejudice. They want to just they want that narrative just to control the whole conversation of everything.
No, it's
You know?
bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit.
And just to go back to the Black Lives, White Lives Matter shirt, right? It's like, okay, he has now you got a mulatto group that we dealing with, right? So now he's considerably he's the father of mulatto children.
Right.
And as we told in grammar school.
Right. So that's personal. I get it.
Yeah. So it's like anything that's mixed with black is black. If you take a white marker or whatever marker, if you write black over it, it's gonna be black.
Right.
So you can mix any color with black and it's still gonna be black.
Be black, right.
So overall, why wouldn't White Lives Matter if I just had 4 children with a Caucasian woman?
Right.
Great
point. That's a great point.
But it's like, why is these Van Lathens and the people that got somewhat of a big platform not pointing out this type of stuff?
Why would they?
Hold on. I'm gonna let you go from this point. So when TMZ booted him out or kicked him off, me per se, I still rolled with him. I never knew what it was about. When I didn't see Raquel over there no more, I didn't know what it was about. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
I still support Raquel. I still wanted to support Van, even though I don't follow him to the extent to know what he got going on. You know what I'm saying? I just got the call when he came out here to shoot some scene about Chicago, you know what I'm saying, for 50 Cent and what he got going on, right? And at the end of the day, it's like, I still looked at that again, like, here y'all go, eating off our hardship again. You see what I'm saying? Now, I don't know what 50 Cent gonna do, but I would love for 50 Cent and these families that they gonna open up the floodgates on of emotions and feelings of showcasing what happened to their loved ones. I will hope that he will put some money to the side, you know what I'm saying, for these families to help them move out the neighborhoods or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like to pacify their feelings, because when you're about to showcase the hardship of their murdered loved one, you opening up these old wounds again.
These old wounds, right?
You see what I'm saying? So I would hope that even though he reporting on all the hip hop artists, slain artists, I just would hope that he would do something right by the people like that. Like we just having a problem with consulting. I mean, with we have a problem with well, I was just talking about it earlier. We have an issue with compensating each other. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like a person in 50 position right now, you made it successful off your powers and all the other stuff you doing. Taking 15% of the monies that's gonna be made from the new documentary or whatever that show of the artists being slain, and you making sure they families have some royalties or something. Like we gotta start leading by example. So if 50 can hear this message or see this message and do something like that, like that's a start. You know what I'm saying? Because he another person that's gonna voice his opinion. He another one that we need on the front line that can voice his opinion, you know what I'm saying, or can call to Puff and Jay and say, hey man, I got 20 M's, you know what I'm saying? Zino need, 150 M's to start his, I can take me out the equation and put you in the equation. Zino need, 150 million to build these apps, and we gonna go up against these apps. You know what I'm saying? 50 can be a person that would do that. If they just gave Gotti a bunch of money, he can be a person to do that. Like we gotta get the real messages out here. Like everybody turning the other cheek, bro. Like, no, man, I ain't turning.
That's what's happening. I mean, but you know what though? A lot of these guys, they made their millions with Jewish people. So, and most of them still are partnered up with. I mean, if you're in any type of major major partnership in movies, TV, or anything, chances are you're partnered up with somebody who's Jewish.
But that's what I'm saying, Z. I don't want to keep focusing on that. I don't care if they Asian. I don't care if they was African. I don't care what they call themselves. I don't care about that. To me, they people. You know what I'm saying? So if your business partner, for one, you had to believe in this guy to even become his business partner.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't keep talking like it's the 1600s. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference. Guys got babies with Jewish girls all day long. Brothers got babies. You see what I'm saying? And vice versa. So it's not, I don't want to keep.
So why don't you think, let me ask you a question. Why don't you think they do it then? Why don't you think all these black men who are in a whole different tax bracket pull their money together and really concentrate on building up black people?
That's why me and you having this conversation. This is the reason we doing this live. I didn't want to do this live talking about no ethnic groups. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. No ethnic groups. I'm talking about people in general. And if America is supposed to be the land of the free, the home of the brave, and it's the melting pot for everybody that got mistreated where they was from and came over here, that meant that we were supposed to come together as one. Because we all came up over here running away or fleeing from the hardships of where we came from, or under the thumb of our colonizers.
Of somewhere. That's everybody. And that's everybody.
And this what I'm saying.
Other than the Indians, that's everybody.
Right. So what I'm saying is, we don't talk about the tens of millions of people with King Leopold killed. You know what I'm saying? But we speak in his language. That's crazy.
That's crazy. No, I mean, listen, Joe, listen. Everything you're saying is right, but it all goes back, and it just all goes back to the people who are actually in position. The question is why don't they do it? Why won't they do it? And history will show you that black men, we only talk in history. We can only go by history to answer some of these questions. The history will show that they don't do that.
So we need the people that's on here to at LeBron James, at Diddy, at Birdman. Jay don't really got no page. Well, even the ones that got Twitters and the ones that got Instagram, Kevin Hart, we need to add all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because we got Tariq Nasheed. He has the Hidden Color series. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, to whereas that would be a documentary in itself of him. I feel like this is what they should do: a round table with all our billionaires. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You could take a few of our billionaires, a few of our multi-millionaire athletes, and sit them at the round table with these scholars who they know they can identify with, and if that's who they gonna respect or will listen to, I think that's something that need to be. It need to be a TV series on that. It need to be a movie on that. It need to be a documentary on that. You see what I'm saying? Because we understand that, like the shorties right now, if they scamming and running up millions, they not trying to listen to the OG that's broke. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to listen to him. And they not realizing that, shorty, because I don't want to do nothing scamming, or I don't want to do nothing that can put me in behind bars, my freedom is worth more than me stealing and getting some temporary clothes and jewelry in a car, or even a temporary place to live at the moment. Because as soon as you get bumped, you lose all that.
It's over.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I say to the women all the time, when I talk to the women on live or whatever, I always tell them, it would be nice if y'all would speak out more and say, y'all love us just the same if we worked in McDonald's or if we was.
Good luck with that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. You're right.
I'm just
Wouldn't
saying.
that be something?
that would really help. You know what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right.
They would love us just the same if we worked at McDonald's or if we was an athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like, society, we need a revamp on society.
We need to revamp, not society, we need to revamp our culture.
Yeah, and society. Because
I mean, once we revamp, one has to come before the other. Once we revamp our culture, then that's where society will revamp. Once, you know, it's hard for us to do so much, man. There's so much inner fighting and inner hate within our culture. You know what I'm saying? Because they can always go back and use that against us. We have to, and see, you know, that's part of why I really love Minister Farrakhan, is because, you know, he always preached that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's you know, and he's like my mentor. You know what I'm saying? He was, as far as you know, intelligence, and you know, you have when you talk about our culture and you talk about doing for us, there's a couple of ways to go about it. You can do it intelligently and talk about the economics and just how it would be for us as a people, or you could talk more in like Khalid, you know, rest in peace, Khalid Muhammad, and talk more, you know, like strong language on separation and, you know, and fighting. I think at this point, especially with the younger generation, to try to keep them interested, especially in history, because it seems like this generation just don't care about history. It seems like they just don't give a fuck. You know, it would, exactly what you said has to happen, and if it doesn't happen like that, it's not going to happen. If the guys that these young guys are perceiving to be the chosen ones as far as leaders because of their economic status, then these are the guys that have to come and do it. And you know, I mean, everything. I mean, listen, I would love a round table, to see a round table with black billionaires, and to really talk about black people's struggles and how to help, and how to turn some of this around. That's exactly what needs to happen. You said exactly what needs to happen. How do we make that happen?
Topics like this and people sharing it, and, you know, adding the people, and somebody asks, do I say this to these people? I'm saying it to them now. I say it to their face. Whenever I'm around them, I'll have no problem telling Puff, look, brother, I want you to get all the billions in the world, but I supported your Sean John. I have I had an original bad boy leather jacket. A girl I was dealing with, her addict god brother stole it. So I don't want people to feel like, oh, he's going at Puffy and this and that. No. You know, we come up together, we know of each other, we've been around each other. He know where I'm coming from. He wouldn't take nothing that I'm saying out of context, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They all know, you know, like if drunk driving kills so many amount of people, like for me, for instance, I owned a liquor store, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to the minister. The mosque is in my neighborhood. So my heart wouldn't allow me to stay in that business. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the first inkling of me to be able to get out, I got out. So I didn't want that on my heart or my mind that I'm pumping this liquor up out this store, knowing that I'm contributing to injuring one's kidneys and liver, you know, or they saying, oh, I ain't that drunk, but they done drunk a whole fifth. And then they get behind the wheel and hit a soccer mom van and kill everybody in there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, they be the ones that live without a scratch on them. You know,
In most cases,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
it's crazy.
And it's like now, okay, do this person live in guilt? You know, or no, they gonna get out and they gonna get some more liquor and drown away the pain with that.
Right.
We need to find different ways to get over our pains or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We can do some acupuncture. We can do some, you know, some type of other mental stimulation, you know, some massages or something. We can do something else besides saying, you know, I know the roster's going to fight me with it. I knew that was coming. I knew the roster. I knew y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's the earth, you know. It's the earth. Yeah, but overall, it's the tobacco too, you know. And then some say, oh, Joe, he get too deep. Yeah, because we don't know what the people in Cuba goes through to come on, keep growing this tobacco, you know. So what we do is we say, okay, the Cubans, you know, coming up with the tobacco in Dominican Republic and wherever the tobacco place is at, it helps them import it and they can take care of their families. So that way people be like, okay, well, they making an honest living to live better. So look the other way. You see what I'm saying? And it's like we keep pacifying that as if we can't get them an engineering job. You know, okay, if tobacco doing Al Capone them days was a crime and it's legal now, the same way we seen they made it marijuana illegal, and now it's legal now.
Thank God.
So, so you know, it's just like, I don't know, man.
You know what? But look at Joe. Look, okay, take these different platforms. A lot of these platforms on live, Instagram Live, I go on some of them, you know, and it's just, you know, but it's not necessarily stuff that's uplifting us or stuff that we can learn from. You know, we're more interested in bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Jerking around, having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like we're more interested. Like I noticed that back in the day and all the way up until now is probably we're at our lowest point from culture wise as far as even talking about these type of things, implementing them. Like, you know, there was more support and I'm not saying they don't want to, but they're being, you know, people are more quiet now when it comes to conversations like this. I noticed they don't necessarily. I don't know if it bores them. I don't know if they're just not interested. I don't know if they've just given up. You know, but
it didn't wore them down. It didn't wore
yeah,
them.
yeah.
being in content, being
Yeah.
content, they stuck in it now.
Yeah.
And I don't want people, because I seen a guy say, when I see these guys, do I have these conversations, blah, blah, blah. Yes. When I was with Birdman, he was letting me broker a deal for a $200 million app type situation. And then the business partners, something went wrong with the business partners. So I'm not a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to think I can say something about one person and don't say it to another.
Right.
And I stood to make $10 million just off brokering that deal. And to be honest, Stunner was more frantic than I was. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you about to have a legal 10 million. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So me seeing him light up, for me, that meant everything to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, he know I'm a grown man, and he know that, okay, I can tell him stay out the streets, don't mess with the streets.
Right.
But he done everything in his power to, if I bring him situations that make sense, he can sign off on them, or he'll let me broker the deal. And he know that I will earn. And if he makes sure, and if I eat, then that means I can feed 9 more of our siblings, or 20 more of our siblings, you know? So I always, you know what I'm saying, give him his credit where it's due, because I know he get mad when I give him his flowers so much. But you know, he my blood, he my relative, and they role models, him and Slim. You know what I'm saying? We come from the projects, we come from group homes, and you know what I'm saying? We don't come from no silver spoon, you know?
Right.
So the talents got us in the situations that we in. The know-how, you know what I'm saying? The not giving up. So, you know, I know that like PR people say, hey, if you're an artist or this or that, don't speak on religion and don't speak on this and this and that. And it's just like, I'll go right back to them and say, well, what's the purpose of the Constitution? I'm gonna forever say that when I feel like somebody is going against it. So when the government is supposed to be here to stand up for us for us all, they being biased too.
Right.
So now it's like, who do we can't report them, we can't tell on them. You know how you usually, if your mama whooped you, you told your grandma, she whooped me. You know what I'm saying? And she, don't you hit that boy, you know, granny will take up for you. You know what I'm saying? When the government look the other way on us, it's ridiculous. Like, these guys is doing this stuff to us, and they getting off work with pay. And you know, it's like, you would think if it wasn't no cameras or nothing, then it is your word against this person's word. But one thing you do know is, we the one taking the short end of the stick.
Well, and you know when that document was written, there wasn't no black people around.
Right.
We wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? So they really didn't take in consideration.
No, we was around, but it was written. So
we were slaves at that time.
Yeah, so it wouldn't pertain to us.
Right.
That's just like when people say the proclamation, that law didn't save us from slavery. When the Confederates gave up 2 years later after the proclamation, and the Confederates gave up, they got defeated. That's when we learned that we was free.
Right. Yeah, because they wasn't letting go.
A whole 2 years later.
They wasn't letting go of their slaves.
So, you know, I just wish, you know, the Russell Simmons could have, you know, I know he had a lot of group talks or whatever with these guys, but
a lot of talks.
I wish a Russell, I wish the minister, you know, because they phones always work when we call. That's one thing about them. And I wish Russell and the minister can get on these group chats or whatever and really ask all these brothers, you know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, it hurt to hear when the minister say he reached out to Floyd and said, hey, Floyd, America for sale, brother, let's buy up some stuff. And then only for Floyd to say, what's the guy from Iowa? It was, he say he his mentor. So it's like, what's the billionaire guy that said he wasn't giving his kids no money when he passed away?
Ooh, I didn't hear that one.
Man, what's the billionaire dude, man, with the potatoes, man? He made his money.
Oh man, fuck the dude that Jay-Z be fucking with, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. No. I mean, he was the one that Jay had did the meeting with. I know I know exactly who you're talking about.
But whatever his name,
he owns Berkshire North. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. He still live in his same house.
Yeah.
From when he bought it for $10,000.
Yeah. I know the Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So here's a guy that got all the billions in the world, and he say he ain't giving his kids nothing. You know, he ain't leaving them nothing. And he got his reasons.
The kids don't like him.
Right. He got his reasons. But then all of us, we say we work to leave our children something. Now, whether they do right by it or not, we'll be gone, so we wouldn't know what they doing with it.
Most of us ain't gonna have nothing to leave the children.
Right. So now,
and a lot of people know that.
Right. So stuff like that hurt it. You know, I'm like, damn. You know, to hear that or know that, but
now, see, you just mentioned, man, like there's a lot of dudes with a lot of money out here, man.
Yeah.
You just mentioned a bunch of them. I mean, it could really make a difference.
It's like,
God damn.
Like we proud of them. But it's like,
what are you doing for your people?
Yeah, you know, we proud for them, but it's just like, so, you know, if I run across Floyd again, I just want to ask him too, like, champ, why don't you? It's like somebody got to take the initiative to make everybody hearing about the slaughters that's going on in New Orleans. They got the murder capital right now.
Right.
Chicago, deep Philly, all New York, all these cities that's facing this genocide amongst us. Every last one of these guys is noticing this. They're hearing it. They can't say I was in practice, I didn't know about it. That's a lie.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know a Joe Kim Noah, you know what I'm saying? He tried and done his best to help Chicago while playing here. And even when he left, you know what I'm saying? And him and Derrick Rose just took a group of children to Africa, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
You know, so that was what's up. It's like the separatism that was taught to us is affecting us. You know what I'm saying?
Majorly.
So I just, you know, I feel better when I do see Jay-Z, Puff, Floyd, any of them athletes, you know, Stunner and Slim, and I had these conversations with them. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I want to see who gonna take the initiative. Dr. Dre, we don't even speak on Dre.
Yeah.
You know,
another one.
We just let Dre live his life, you know, on the sand and the beach, which is which he should. He worked long enough. He worked hard enough. But, you know, where Chuck D at? We need Chuck D back out here. We need a Chuck D platform or something. Like, we need some, you know, look at, I would always love to speak on Fred Hampton, right?
Mm-hmm.
21 years old. Look how articulate he was. Look how smart and intelligent he was, bro. Like, and they murdered that man in his sleep.
They gunned him down, bro. That was fucked up.
21 years old, you know, shoot his baby mother up, and the son still was left to live,
That was fucked. I seen that movie too.
which is my good brother Fred Hampton Jr. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's still out here with the baby cubs, the Panther cubs, what he say, the baby cubs.
That's dope. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they just done something big in Africa. I think they gave him they gave Fred Hampton a mural or something in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, the things that the Panthers stood on, even if you was a silent partner, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if you saying forsake of your business partners and all this and that.
Right.
But I just feel like your business partners do it for their people. So why we can't do it for ours?
That's the $1 million question, Joe.
And I want to end it on that, bro.
That's the matter of fact, that's the $1 trillion question. And you know, I'm glad we had a conversation. I learned a few things, and you know, until the people who are influential economically and just from their voice get together, we're going to be running through these situations like for the next generations ahead. Because what I'm afraid of, when we're gone, who's going to be fighting out here? What's the conversation going to be 60 years from now? When the generation that's out now, who is going to be the one to even bring this shit up? What I'm afraid of is that as we get older and as the generations move along, we just like you said, we're being more complacent and fuck warmer. We've been getting colder. So, you know, I mean, we just gotta pray. We gotta pray, and we gotta pray that somebody with all this money out there and influence is gonna take the leap of faith forward. If not, we're just gonna be talking about it, and that's not bad just to talk about, because you know conversations are good. At least people know that we're not using this shit just for a bunch of bullshit all night. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of fucking dumb shit. We got to get ourselves together, man, and the only way we're gonna be able to do that is how other races did it. Pull their money together, pull their resources together, and make shit happen, because that's how you make shit happen. You make shit happen with money and influence. There's no doubt about it. You make shit happen with money and influence. Even back in the day, with and I'm gonna let you go, but look at even the sports guys back in the day. You'll never see that when they all got together. Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Bill Russell, they all got together. You won't even see that now.
Right.
You won't see that now. So, you know, it's good that we grew up in the time that we grew up in, because we got to experience real fight against a system that is clearly against us. But until we come together ourselves, it's just going to be hard to fight that system because it's so established, you know. And you know, listen, I hear you talk this all the time, so it ain't like you just been on it. Since I've met you, you've been on it. You know, that's been a while. So, you know what I mean? That makes me happy. You know, my little situation with the Eminem thing, I would hope is going to be a little piece of history that I contributed, because, you know, when I look at it and I look at that situation, all I wanted was to let people understand, hey, look, rap music is ours. It's at that time it was it was just starting to make a lot of money, and it's something that saved our culture. And we have to be careful on people outside the culture who not necessarily cares about the culture come in and and have a part in it. And you know, I didn't have to take on that fight. You know, I didn't have to. I was financially stable in a motherfucker, and you know, people think that we lost the source because of that. Some people, but it wasn't. You know, that had nothing to do with it. But the bottom line was, I fought for something that was bigger than me. I wasn't selfish.
Mm.
I could have sat back with all the millions and just I gave away half my money to my niggas and damn near strangers. Man, I let everybody eat, but the thinking when I was going against him was, if we lose hip hop, we lose everything. We don't have nothing left. And It was just important. It necessarily wasn't me being racist. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, when it was the same situation. Once I said that, wasn't nobody playing my music, wasn't nobody fucking with me as far as people that were in the higher ups necessarily fucking with me. Um, I was fighting that fight alone. And, you know, Farrakhan gave me a page and a final call and thanked me. That was major to me. You know what I'm saying? I was, you know what I mean? And the few times I've got to sit with him, he always looked at me as somebody, as a fighter for our people. And that was my little contribution as far as, um, as far as, sacrificing for the greater good. And that's what these guys have to do. They have to sacrifice for the greater good. And, if that means that you're not going to have, you know, I don't know, because the guys who you just mentioned have a lot of money. There's a lot of money in just the 10 guys you just mentioned throughout the conversation. I mean, they're probably worth over $1 trillion, just the guys you mentioned, and they can make a difference. But it's not going to happen unless they make the difference. So, like JoJo said, anybody listening to this, each one teach one. Y'all get on, you know what I'm saying? Get in their DMs, get on their lives, and just let they know. And don't think that it doesn't make a difference, because, any if I would have thought that me going up against Eminem wasn't going to make a difference, then I wouldn't have done it. If the Black Panthers would have thought that what they did, then they would. I mean, people if Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Jojo Capone, if people who say these things, they're saying it because they're not selfish and they're not thinking about what could happen to them. And that's what we have. That's what all of us have to understand. We got to stop being selfish and look at this, because you can't take the money with you when you're dead. Everybody's going to be gone in 50 years. All the guys you just been mentioning. I mean, we don't live to 100, unfortunately. So let's say 50 years. A lot of those guys you mentioned are going to be either on their way out or out. I'll be gone. So, you can't take it with you. What is going to be your legacy? What is going to be your mark? What is going to be your contribution? Because you're not going to be judged by you doing shit for you. You don't hear about people, just like you spoke on Fred Hampton. Okay. His name still comes up and he's gone. That means that his legacy is strong. These guys got to understand that. You're going to be dead a lot longer than you are living. What's going to be your legacy? How is all these millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars in some cases, how can this contribute for the greater good of your people? I guess we'll see. I'm gonna call you tomorrow, man. I talked to her. She said that the lawyers are getting the LOIs by the end of the week. She was like, you know what I'm saying? She's actually getting on a conversation with them. It's 2 lawyers, and she's excited about this, and everything's still a go, brother.
Okay, keep me posted.
All right, man. Love you, bro. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Power to the people.